Hey everybody, welcome to the garden. I hope you're having a great day. Shout out to the lemon and lime lovers and everybody in between. It's time for the crypto market recap. Let's hop into these charts and see what the story is and what it may be. Okay, so what's on the docket today? We're going to be looking at Bitcoin and we're going to be looking at Ethereum, and then we'll go over a few other altcoins that have been on my radar, and then we'll go from there. So Bitcoin and Ethereum. So why are we focusing on them? Well, if you're in the Patreon or you're a paid member, well, then you know that we have begun our short positions on both. These are starter positions, so I do have the intention to add on to them as they go higher, because it's more likely that Bitcoin does go a bit higher. I have been aiming towards the $48,000 level, and then possibly towards 49,000 and 50,000. So this zone is likely to get touched at some point. To actually break 50,000 though is fairly unlikely even now. That has not changed. In all the previous videos I've made, I have said that a breaking of the wedge to the upside, which is likely, which is possible. Wasn't likely, it was possible, was that if it did, that 46 to 48,000 would be a massive wall for it to get through, and it's very unlikely for it to get through. I even mentioned 44,000 being tough because the wedge in of itself showed significant resistance, and it proved to, but finally it did get that impulse. But I'm going to explain also as to why I'm confident that there's not much upside left in this, at least not enough to get us through 50,000. So look at the candles going back, what now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and now we're on the 7th day. It's all been to the upside. There hasn't been one day where we could say that there's been some sort of cool off period. And this is usually a sign that we're getting closer to the end of an impulse move in a direction rather than the beginning. Okay, so when you have a big move like this after 4 or 5 days of the same move of the same direction, this is likely an indication that we're nearing the end of an impulsive move. All right, not the beginning, the end. So what may happen going forward is we go into a bullish consolidation. So that can be a move like a bull flex. We start drifting downward, or we go into a short reversal that tests the wedge top as support, which would also be bullish, to try and get the fuel to go higher. All right. So we start the short position around this zone, and if that were to happen, I would not be looking to close out the short there. Okay, I would understand that we're likely to go up and we're going to try and test 50,000, and that's where you would want to add on to the short. All right, because nothing has changed in regards to the macro structure. Even with the bullish break of this bearish rising wedge, the structure is still bearish. Okay, all-time high, massive drop, cool off period, we're breaking higher, but until 54,000 is taken, and then 50,000 is held above for a significant amount of time, and then a bullish structure like a bottoming pattern, could be a double bottom, could be a rounding bottom, whatever. A bottoming pattern forms on that support, and then we go for an attempt to break higher. That until that happens, the structure is still bearish, and that's still improbable even now, guys, even now. And remember, the sentiment is changing out in the retail space. Everyone is getting bullish. Everyone is forgetting that this in of itself is not bullish. All right, people think this is a bottom. It may be the bottom, but that's not how we trade. We trade with probabilities. All right, it's most improbable to be the bottom, but most of retail is starting to really transition from a doubtful state to a hopeful state, and when that happens, they rarely see clearly. So we want to make sure we're not in the same boat as them. So like I mentioned in the previous video, you don't want to immediately go against the crowd. You want to slowly transition against the crowd. Make sure that you're taking the other side of the trades over time, and in the end, you'll find that you're consistently more profitable because the crowd is most often wrong. Okay, so we're short Bitcoin, and we'll see if it has more fuel in the tank to go higher, or if it's going to start some sort of exhaust period. All right, so that's what we're looking at. And I'll also go over, let's say it does break 50,000. Okay, so what will we be looking at? Well, we'll see if it can get to this trend line here. All right, so you see how this trend line starts from here, left shoulder, head, and then you have somewhat of a right shoulder formation. All right, this is not head and shoulders, but the idea is that you have significant activity here. Low pivot, low pivot, low pivot, breakage, try to get above it, failed, and now it may be trying again. All right, and where does this land? Right where I've been saying, that $54,000 zone. Okay, so that zone, if it does break past, significant resistance here, a retest of 50,000, and it'll be very bullish if it can hold that. If it can't, then watch for a plunge back down. All right, so we'll see how this plays out, but there are pathways for it to get to that zone. It's still improbable even now though, but this would be a wonderful place to open short. By the way, this would be a wonderful place to open short. All right, let's take a look at Ethereum, because we also started the short position on Ethereum. Very low percentages for our account. I believe it's about 2% for each. I plan to mirror Ethereum mostly with Bitcoin, so whatever I do in Bitcoin, I will likely mirror Ethereum. The reason why is when Ethereum is in a similar structure to Bitcoin, you see large extended move, very little rest periods if any. Large extended move, very little rest periods if any. They tend to move extremely close together. Ethereum tends to move near 1-to-1 with Bitcoin. So that in that environment, you could almost double dip with Ethereum. All right, because Ethereum moves about 1-2% more than Bitcoin, just from the swings. This is due to the liquidity mainly. There's a lot more money flowing in and out of Bitcoin than Ethereum, so it moves a little less. So yep, came up to a really strong resistance level after a beautiful breakout of this descending trend line, and holding this longer term trend line as well. So Ethereum is a beautiful chart. I said a couple videos back that Ethereum might be the strongest chart in crypto, and if you were basing your decisions off of it and not looking at Bitcoin, you could say that this may indicate a lot more upside for crypto. But Bitcoin's price action, its structure, does kind of put a little bit of a weight on this, in my opinion. But we'll see. We are shorted, and I do have set zones that I'm looking to add on to the short. I'm going to be a lot more aggressive with Ethereum, as I do have a overall account risk on Ethereum set in stone already in my mind. I don't want to go past 20%, or really 14%, but I could go to 20%. Bitcoin, I'm very comfortable going higher than 20%. But these two are looking very extended, especially Bitcoin. But these two are looking very extended, and Ethereum, should it fail here, will likely come back to 3150 and then 3000. All right, but beautiful chart, beautiful breakage, and expect another retest of this rising trend line in the near to midterm future. Let's take a look at Doge, because I tweeted about Doge. It's not a position, it was just an observation. Said, hey, Doge broke this descending trend line. Tweeted about it around here, I think. And I said it would likely get to 16 cents. And if Bitcoin would break past 44,000, don't be surprised that it gets to 20 cents. Well, Bitcoin definitely broke past 44,000, and Doge is getting near its 16-cent mark. But the key is, if Bitcoin can hold above 44,000 for a significant amount of time, then Doge will likely get to this zone up here. All right, but this isn't a play to go long or anything. It was just an observation, just an appreciation of how pretty this was, how clean this breakout was. But look out if you are going long. The risk to reward is really bad now. Okay, so if you're looking to buy here, well, yeah, you might get 16 cents, which it's percentage wise is probably okay. Yeah, it's about okay. It's about, say you get to the middle of the box, about 9%. That's great. But your risk, I mean, where are you going to put the stop loss? Because if you're going to do under the last swing or pivot, it's about 12%, maybe even like, 20%. So as we got to take into account the risk to reward, sometimes it's not worth it. All right. And if you're aiming for the 20 cent mark, well, that's very extended out. Okay. It's very extended out. And that's actually a place where you would want to short it. Okay. That's a place where you would want to aim to enter a short position, because it's very likely to come back down to this pivot, which is about 17 cents, 17.5. Okay. Okay. So that's about it for Doge. And let's take a look at Luna. So Luna has been doing pretty good today. Still within this bearish pattern though. So still within this bear flag pattern. We'll see if it can break out of it. It has been underperforming in recent history compared to its the other assets. And that, I mean, it makes sense considering look at this massive move that Luna's had. So it's definitely in a cool off period. We'll see if it can confirm this bear flag and break lower to 85 and maybe lower, or if it's just going to invalidate it and go higher. So we just got to, for Luna, you just got to take your time and watch. And this is another reason why I don't take these sort of trades. I don't like taking these trades while they're in pattern, while they're haven't proven to validate, because they can fail often enough that it's still dangerous to take them. What I always like to do is go after exhaustion, right? Like this would have been a great short if I had the opportunity to get into it, and then watch it from here while you got in here. So you have so much more breathing room, you see. But again, Luna is overall still bearish, but we'll see if it can break through here and then confirm above. Again, I think it'll take a lot of strength from Bitcoin to be able to find the strength to break through this and then through this actual zone. But Bitcoin might find it. We'll see. Beautiful. I mean, it's beautiful structure though to go lower. This is a beautiful structure to go lower. This is not a bullish structure at the moment. Okay. And let's actually turn on. I'd shown this this indicator. I think it was the last video. It's the pivot's high low. I was showing it for anyone who's novice to charts or new to charts. Ways to see swing lows a little easier and swing highs. So if you want to draw trend lines, it's a little easier for you to draw and see how it all lines up. So I'm gonna keep this on my chart for the near future, just so people's eyes might get used to what I'm seeing. Let's take a look at Avalanche. So Avalanche, I tweeted about as well. That hey, beautiful bull flag formation here, and that if it breaks out, look for a move towards $9,900, and it looks like we're well on our way. You gotta really like these breakout structures where it's a descending trend line or a really strong ascending trend line, and then price just breaks through them or breaks above them. It's very, very nice looking, very clean. And they give you really good targets because you just look for the next significant support or resistance area, right? Like for this one, it's $100, and if it breaks that, look for like 110, 105. It's beautiful, very easy to play, very easy to play. And let's take a look at Link as well, because Link has been one of my favorite charts. Yeah, so we had this long couple, like a week or two ago. Took our money, beautiful. I mean, very extended, but very pretty. And this looks like it wants to get towards, I had mentioned, around the $20 and $19 mark. I mean, if Bitcoin holds strong where it is, I do think you're going to see that from Link. It's just so much confluence here, there's so much confluence here. Like take a look at this. So from this pivot high, okay, this is a great way to draw fibs as well. So Fibonacci, if you're really new and you don't know how to draw fibs like consistently, this is a great tool. All right, so look at this. See, it's a little higher, but the confluence here is nuts. So you got the descending trend line, and then the ascending trend line, and then you have the extension of the 23.6, which is the 123.6 right here. Beautiful. Like this is a really nice target zone to open short. Okay, like this right here is great. This is a great place to maybe go short. because you just have so much pressure is going to be here. But there's so much here, it's almost like a magnet. So you might actually see a link just burst up there really quickly. So this is a really cool chart, And Link is overall pretty bearish just because it lost that long-term trend line, this thick black trend line here. But it's holding really powerful support as well. So Link is in a very interesting place. And if it gets up to here, I'll definitely be tempted to possibly open short. Yeah, because I have a few altcoins I'm looking at. Link is definitely one to where I may open short, because a lot of these altcoins like Bitcoin and Ethereum are showing some signs of exhaustion. And then look at EOS, another one, really nice move today, almost 12%, actually more in total for the day. And look, another beautiful breakout. See, this is why these pivots, high lows, if you're not, experiencing charts, can really help you, because they help you see. Look, so you could draw here, right? See, like the pivot here to here, and you see these other zones where it failed to get through, or you can even draw it from this pivot to here. Okay, and you see that, look at all this interaction. So the idea is not to draw these lines perfectly. The idea is to draw these lines in a way that lets you understand what you're seeing, because it's all about getting your brain used to how these trend lines work. They're not perfect, they're zones. Okay, they're zones. So you have an idea of how this works. This was a beautiful breakout, and now you're seeing a massive move after this bull flag. After this bull flag formation, and it hit significant resistance, and now it's having a possible exhaustion period. We'll see if it can get the follow through to close above that when this daily candle closes. A beautiful chart. So there's a lot of big movers and a lot of opportunity to open short and look for shorting opportunities on these assets. Okay, so I think that's about everything I want to go over today. So I hope you're having a great day. I hope you've been having a great couple weeks, even in spite of the craziness of the world. And if you have any questions about anything, you can always DM me on Discord. If you have my Telegram, same thing. And if you're interested in any tutoring, take a look at the Patreon, or look at the crypto payment solution on the Discord. It's an alternative to Patreon if you're interested. And we can start scheduling for one-on-ones, or however you're comfortable in learning. Maybe even some group stuff if you don't want to learn alone. Okay. And if you are interested in just the call-outs, well, we got free call-outs for the free members. But if you want more, take a look at the Patreon. You'll have access to my Patreon call-outs as well, which is for both crypto and stocks. All right, everyone. So that's about it. You take care. And know that I love you, and always remember, stay patient, stay vigilant, and stay nimble. Take care, everyone. Bye.